Frank Radosti fastest in AM, 1:20.764. P2 for Frank Radosti, a quiet run so far. P2 Frank Radosti, keeping it clean. The practice session begins, switching to AM leader Frank Radosti. Frank Radosti cruising in P2. A new session best through Sector 1 for Frank Radosti. That's the quickest Sector 2 we've seen. Frank Radosti. You could set your watch by Frank Radosti's lap times. Frank Radosti sets the benchmark in Sector 2.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Nobody quicker than Frank Radosti in Sector 1. Here's Paul Ibbotson in P2 in PRO. Paul Ibbotson with the fastest Sector 1 so far. Frank Radosti lost the rear in AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Paul Ibbotson in
Sorry if I screwed
Norm
you up there.
Graf, currently P3 in PRO.
No problem, Frank.
P3 for Norm Graf in PRO with a
Evening, gentlemen.
119.042. That's 2.80
Hey, what's up?
behind Johnny Gutierrez.
Hi, Carl.
Hey, not much. Oh, there's Norm.
Switching to AMP2, Carl Strohal. Carl Stroh maintaining P5.
Hello, 1, 2 test. You know what I mean? Hi, Olivier. Hi. Okay, I had no sound on Discord, so I wasn't sure. Thanks. How's it going?
Good. Getting ready to hit a few walls.
Yeah.
Now on board with Paul Ibbotson driving the number 165 Lamborghini STC.
Any chance of Rosa Ray pileup?
Paul Ibbotson running in P2. Carl Struhl fastest in AM, 1:18.448. That's 0.24 quicker than Frank Radosti. Here's Norm Graf in P3 in PRO. P5 Norm Graf, keeping it clean. Remarkably consistent from Norm Graf. Let's ride with Carl Struhl in the number 42 Lamborghini STC. Carl Struhl is in a real groove metronome laps. Olivier
There I
Gervais
did
holding
what Paul
P6.
said. Hit a few walls, son.
Paul Ibbotson tops PRO with a 1:15.933. Here's the PRO leader, Paul Ibbotson. Let's check on Norm Graf, P3 in PRO. Sector 1 improvement for Norm Graf. Norm Graf maintaining P3. Norm Graf running 10.0 seconds behind the car ahead. Norm Graf has found some pace in the last few laps. 8 laps completed by Norm Graf. The times are coming down for Norm Graf. On board with Jerry Chen. Impressive consistency from Karl Struhol. P4 for Karl Struhol, a quiet run so far. On board with Jerry Chen in the PRO. Jerry Chen holding P7. Jerry Chen currently P4 in PRO.
I can't find the penalties.
Jerry Chen is in trouble in PRO. Here's the replay. We're back with Jerry Chen in P4 in PRO. Now on board with Karl Struhol driving.
Hello, party people.
Something has gone wrong for Frank Radosti in AM. Let's take a look.
Yeah, lots of carbon fiber out there, I'm guessing.
If there's not, there will be soon.
At least we don't have front wings.
I hope it's while I'm on pit road while I'm doing my drive-through.
Back to Jerry Chen running P4 in PRO.
We have front splitter.
Now with the PRO leader, Paul Ibbotson.
Man, it takes almost 50 seconds to do a drive-through here.
Oh yeah, and then those of us with like I don't know. That's why I was trying to find the penalties.
Paul
Do I
Ibbotson
have
running in
a
P1.
30-second stop and hold, or is it a 60-second stop and hold?
I don't know. All I know is I got a drive-through.
Who else was asking? What I heard Norm was the other guy. I'm sorry.
James.
Where did he posted?
I couldn't find it. Yeah, I remember it coming out, and I was it was posted just before the Vegas race.
Well, didn't you
and I was
finish the
so
last
pissed
race?
off about that.
Didn't you finish the last race?
Yeah.
That you would have got a penalty? Well, he would have just added it to your time.
No,
Norm,
it was
Paul
it
Ibbotson
was
ticking
a
off the laps
penalty
on lap
that
8.
supposedly I had to serve this race.
Huh.
That I still wanted to redress with the stewards, but you know, there's no way of doing that.
There are time penalties, James. So you don't have. The only one that has to serve is Norm because he didn't finish the last race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just
So
added
it's already been applied.
Yeah, to the last race results.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not listed, James.
On board with Jerry Chen. Switching to Olivier Gervais's onboard camera. You could set your watch by Olivier Gervais's lap times. Olivier Gervais maintaining P6. Now on board with Daniel Kirby, driving the number 201 Lamborghini STC. Olivier Gervais into P2 in AM, 118.446. That's 0.28 behind Karl Struhal. P8 for Daniel Kirby, a quiet run so far. Daniel Kirby goes purple in Sector 1. Fastest in PRO, Daniel Kirby, 1:15.788. That's 0.15, quicker than Paul Ibbotson. Daniel Kirby has slowed dramatically in PRO. Here's the replay. Returning to Daniel Kirby in P1. Quicker laps now from Olivier Gervais. Now with AMP4, James Bowders. On board with Karl Struhal in the AM. Remarkably consistent from Karl Struhal. Karl Struhl's completed 9 laps now. Green sector 2 for Karl Struhl. Here's the view from Daniel Kirby's cockpit in the number 201 Lamborghini STC. P1 Daniel Kirby keeping it clean. Let's ride with James Bowders in the number 92 Lamborghini STC. On board with James Bowders. James Bowders holding P9. That's James Bowders' best sector 1 of the session. Johnny Gutierrez cruising in P3. Switching to AMP5, James Bowders. Tom Nazella currently P4 in AM. P10 for Tom Nazella, a quiet run so far. Now with PRO P3, Johnny Gutierrez. Ten laps completed by Johnny. Oh, Gilles Lalonde is in trouble in PRO. Here's the replay. We're back with Johnny Gutierrez in P3. Oh, 3 cars going at it. Daniel Kirby, Paul Ibbotson, and Carl Struhal. Impressive consistency from Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby holding P1. Let's check on Johnny Gutierrez, P3 in PRO. Here's Alan Holden in P4 in PRO. Alan Holden maintaining P4. Here's the view from Daniel Kirby's cockpit in the number 201 Lamborghini STC. Daniel Kirby now 8 laps done. Gilles Lalonde goes green in sector 1. Tight racing here. Alan Holden, Frank Radosti and JT Tummy battling it out. Let's ride with Brian Hall in the number 204 Lamborghini STC. Brian Hall running in P6. Something has gone wrong for Gilles Lalonde in PRO. Let's take a look. Back to JT Tummy running P5 in PRO. P5 for JT Tummy, a quiet run so far. switching to PRO leader Daniel Kirby. You could set your watch by Daniel Kirby's lap times. Paul Ibbotson, currently P2 in PRO. Paul Ibbotson's pace is fading. Jerry Chen has slowed dramatically in PRO. Here's the replay. Returning to Paul Ibbotson in P2 in PRO. Let's see it from JT Tamley's perspective in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. Green sector 1 for JT Tammy. Max something lap maintaining P9. Let's check on Paul Ibbotson, P2 in PRO. A spin for Alan Holden in PRO. Let's take another look. We're back with Paul Ibbotson in P2. Oh, look at this. 3 cars nose to tail. Johnny Gutierrez, Max something lap, and Tom Nacella. P3 Johnny Gutierrez, keeping it clean. Now with PRO P5, Alan Holden. Alan Holden is in a real groove metronome laps. Alan Holden holding P5. Let's check on PRO leader Daniel Kirby. Remarkably consistent from Daniel Kirby. Here's the view from John Maher's cockpit in the number 88 Lamborghini STC. John Maher cruising in P9. Personal best in Sector 1 for John Maher. On board with JT Tammy in the PRO. JT Tammy is getting into a rhythm now. Sector 1 improvement for JT Tammy. JT Tammy maintaining P3. JT Tammy has completed 8 laps now. On board with Olivier Gervais. Olivier Gervais is struggling to maintain the pace.
Am I the only one? I don't hear what John says.
Frank Wadowski
you're
was
not the
spun
only
in
one. I
AM.
haven't heard anyone
Let's see that
talking.
again.
No, me neither. Until right now.
Well, I see John talk. He talked a couple times, but I don't hear anything. I just see his name lit up.
Back to Olivier Gervais running. Here's the view from JT Tammy's cockpit in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. JT Tammy has found some pace in the last
5
few
minutes.
laps.
We clear the track and I read the race brief just like if Matt was here.
Yeah, but you're new meat, Carl.
No. I'm seasoned veteran, man. I'm a
Yeah,
guest admin. I take over and I do it the way the guy that would have done it if he was here, so.
He's been around for a bit.
Yeah, but we might not.
Well, and I want to welcome back some people that have been gone, like Johnny Gutierrez, and then Gilles has made it back. He was off a little bit, and anyone else I might have missed. Thanks. Look at that at 16. That's pretty cool.
Lap 22 for Paul Ibbotson, settling into the rhythm. Let's see it from Daniel Kirby's perspective in the number 201 Lamborghini STC. The lap times are starting to drop off for Daniel Kirby. Halfway point,
Sorry.
83
Sorry,
minutes.
Joe.
Let's ride with Norm Graff in the number 1 Lamborghini STC.
a bit.
The times are coming down
Yeah,
for Norm Graff.
I shouldn't have tried that. Good to try and practice, though.
Yeah.
You could set your watch by Alan Holden's lap times.
Wow, this crew's getting good. 16
11
on the
laps
track,
completed
16
by
on
Alan
Discord.
Holden.
Good job, gentlemen.
Yeah, John Mayer. Sometimes Discord can do funny things and/or Windows. So you'll need to go into user settings and then click on the voice and video on the left. And under voice, you'll need to make sure that the microphone and speaker are set correctly.
Switching to PROP4, Johnny Gutierrez. Johnny Gutierrez now 18 laps done. Switching to Tom Nasella's onboard camera. P16 Tom Nasella keeping it clean. Tom Nasella is getting into a rhythm now. On board with Alan Holden.
All right, we're going to clear the track
Alan
in
Holden's
1 minute.
pace is
fellas.
fading.
I'll read this brief and we'll get this party started. Well, there it is. Track closed. Race brief on Discord voice chat. See, Matt's got this stuff set up automatically. So you all know what that means. Exit the track. All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out. 16 of us for tonight's race. This should make for a good one. And a reminder that turn 8, you need to try to stay, don't cut inside that red line. If your competitors catch you, they can write you up for an IRR. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but just make your best effort, please. All right. Well, starting procedure. Start from a standing grid in pairs. Each pair starts when signaled by the message on your screen and stay in double file for the formation lap. The pole sitter pair will follow the pace car as instructed by RF2. The remaining drivers will follow the RF2 instructions that appear on their screen. As the pace car enters the pits, the leading pair is to maintain a constant speed as they approach the start-finish line. All cars may start racing on the green flag. Passing is allowed before the start-finish line. It will be important that they maintain a steady speed coming around, and then we can all kind of pack up, hopefully, so that the start's not too strung out. But if you stall, have an off track, or otherwise lose your place during the formation lap, follow the RF2 instructions on how to rejoin. We got an orange zone from the start to the exit of turn 8. This before mentioned turn 8. You can cut there, but try not to, because I've already went through that. So orange zone, passing permitted, but note that incidents in the OZ are subject to heavier penalties than for the rest of the race, so take care. RF2 assigned DQs will not be cleared during the race session or qualifying, because I'll be qualifying as well. After that, there will be no race admin available to do so, as we will be racing. RF2 assigned penalties assigned during the race must be served normally. Steward assigned penalties stemming from the race will be applied as a time penalty to the driver's finishing time. If the driver fails to finish the race normally, DNF or DQ, the race will be served as an active penalty in the first race of the next race night of the series that the driver competes. Hope that made sense because I'm just reading verbatim. Hang on, it went crazy. Where did my go? Okay, I got it back. Blue flag. As per the CMS GCR, driver does not have to get out of the way but may not compete with or obstruct a lapping car. A lapping car has a responsibility for making a clean pass. Both have a responsibility for good racing behavior and to respect each other's race. Full FCY. Wait a minute. Well, this says not in effect for this race. I thought he told me it was in effect. I guess we're going to find out. But I'm just reading the race brief. So drivers are reminded to have visual flags enabled in their settings. But this does says it's not. But I swear Matt told me it would be. But RF2 penalties.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. So I think that word just didn't get taken out of this brief. So the RF2 penalties assigned during the race must be served normally. Drivers are reminded to take care in forecasting when and where they will have the best chance of making a clean pass or in being passed. Oh, this has got the hypercar stuff still in it and the GT3, so we don't need to read that. Repeated violations of track limits are eligible for IRR by other drivers, whether you have received RF2 penalties or not. Drivers note turns 1, 2, and 3 and T11 are high risk areas, and drivers are to be particularly vigilant, not vigilant, vigilant. If these are spun or off track, ensure you have complete control of your car before returning to racing. Use relative boxes and spotters as well as your eyes to make sure you can do so safely. If you cannot maneuver your car out of the way of traffic, still racing, use Control Alt Delete or Alt F4 to leave RF2 and then rejoin. Because I don't know what he's getting to is we don't want to have a complete blockage of the track and everyone just pile up. If you must pit on pit entry, set up to ensure you are well right coming out of turn 11 and enter immediately at the beginning of the entry lane. Use the fast lane to travel through the pit area, but not the pit boxes. Pit to the right of your box, whether you're sharing a stall or not. On pit exit, stay right and join the racing surface after the end of the blue line. Drivers on a racing lap are reminded to provide at least a car width of racing room on the right of the track. Drivers are reminded that crossing the pit lane on entry or exit is eligible for IRR by competing drivers when there is a car entering or leaving. Pitting, the driver's decision on pitting for fuel and tires, no obligatory pit. Remember the pit lane speed limit, pit limiter, and there is no ghosting. In the case of an incident, when competing for position, please apply to the CMS Golden Rule and return the position lost to the driver you hit as soon as you can at a safe place to do so. If you wish to put it in an IRR, check the CMS General Competition Rules on the limit and format. This race will include day and dusk night. I don't think it's going to get dark, but best practice is to ensure you have a button map for lights and pay attention to chat warnings or have lights set to auto in your RF2 settings. Overcast and or rain may also require headlights, so be prepared. Escape means the race is over. If you have a serious issue, Control Alt Delete or Alt F4, disconnect your cable, close R Factor 2 and rejoin. You will be 2 laps down, but you can still race for points. And don't forget, we come back for race 2. Any questions?
The blue line on pit exit. If
And
you're
by
on
that
the
beautiful
racing,
sound of relative silence, we will proceed.
No.
hey,
Carl?
Speak up.
I am not. Whoever's talking, I can't hear them. Then, if someone's talking,
Hello?
I can't hear them.
Yeah, we're all talking, Carl.
You might have
me muted.
I don't have any. Who's talking?
Hello,
All of us.
Carl. Yeah, 1, 2.
I don't think
One,
Carl
two.
can hear us.
Yeah, I'm here, JT.
Okay.
I heard
so,
Gilles.
yeah. So, well, what's his name? Olivier is
Olivier.
asking if the blue line is a wall.
Yes, always.
No, I just thought you could get 2 tires over that line. I thought it
Me
was
too.
R factor 2.
Oh, well, I think that's. I'm referring to pit entry. I mean, when you're coming out of the pits, I guess.
No, I mean on the racing line. If you're on the racing line,
I think you're right. If you can straddle that blue line without getting a cut track, then that's legal.
All right.
When you're racing, but when you're coming out of the pits, if I remember, Matt, you're supposed to treat that line like a wall. But like when we're racing, I guess what you can get away with is what you can get away with. Because if you go too far out there, you get a cut track. So that's your own.
Unless the car is like exiting the pit lane right there, then you have to leave them room, obviously.
Right on. And if anyone else is asking a question and I can't hear it, y'all let me know, because I'm sorry that some of you can't hear. And it's not that I don't have anyone muted. I've got everyone turned up to 200. So was there another question?
No, we were all good. Olivier was soft a bit.
Is it better now?
No, same.
What the?
Yeah, I'm just checking that I've got
I
everyone
can hear him
turned
loud
up.
and clear, so I don't know what's up.
Yeah, I can hear you too, Olivia.
Me too.
All right. Okay.
Is Olivier asking a question?
No,
Yeah,
we're
he
good.
was.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, then if we're all cleared and ready to go, I will advance us to the next session. That's where we're at, right, fellas?
Rock and roll.
Yep, that's where we're at.
I have pushed the button. Good luck, everybody.
Green flag for qualifying. Fifth, now with the PRO leader, Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby running in P1. Let's check on Paul Ibbotson, P2 in PRO. Traffic for Olivier Gervais as they approach Karl Struhal. Here's Olivier Gervais in P2 in AM. Let's ride with JT Tammy in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. JT Tammy holding P3. Now on board with Johnny Gutierrez, driving the... Oh, Carl Struhal is in trouble in AM. Here's the replay. Back to Johnny Gutierrez, running P3 in PRO. Johnny Gutierrez into P3 and PRO, 1:15.844. On board with James Bowders. Fastest in AM, James Bowders, 1:19.440. P2 for Frank Radosti in AM with a 1:19.276. That's 0.05 behind Olivier Gervais. Trouble for John Maher in PRO. Tom Nazella has slowed dramatically in AM. Here's the replay. We're back with John Maher in P9, switching to Frank Radosti's onboard camera. James Bowders tops AM with a 1:18.321. That's 0.90 quicker than Olivier Gervais. Olivier Gervais currently P2 in AM. Switching to PRO P5. 10 minutes left in the session. Let's check on Norm Graf, P6 in PRO. Norm Graf maintaining P6. Alan Holden currently P8 in PRO. Olivier Gervais fastest in AM, 1:17.733. That's 0.59 quicker than James Bowders. On board with Olivier Gervais in the AM. Now on board with Daniel Kirby driving the number 201 Lamborghini STC. Carl Struhl into P2 in AM, 1:18.041. Gilles Lalonde lost the rear in PRO. Here's the replay. We're at the halfway mark, 8 minutes left. Returning to Daniel Kirby in P1 in PRO. Impressive consistency from Daniel Kirby. On board with Johnny Gutierrez. P3 Johnny Gutierrez keeping it clean. Three cars going at it. Paul Ibbotson. Remarkably consistent from Paul Ibbotson. Fastest in AM, Karl Struhl, 1:17.220. Johnny Gutierrez managing traffic in PRO. On board with Tom Nazella in the AM. Tom Nazella closing on Frank Radosti, gap down to 2.6. Something has gone wrong for Olivier Gervais in AM. Let's take a look. Back to Tom Nazella, running P5 in AM. Tom Nazella is in a real groove, metronome laps. Here's the view from Karl Struhl's cockpit in the number 42 Lamborghini STC. A new personal best sector 2 there for Karl Struhl. P10 for Jerry Chen, a quiet run so far. Switching to JT Tammy's onboard camera. You could set your watch by JT Tammy's lap times. 5 minutes to go. JT Tammy holding P2. Close running in PRO between switching to PRO P8 Brian Hall. Brian Hall running in P8. Sector 2 improvement for Brian Hall. Let's check on Paul Ibbotson, P5 in PRO. Remarkably consistent from Paul Ibbotson. Let's check on PRO leader Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby is in a real groove, metronome laps. Olivier Gervais currently P2 in AM. Quicker laps now from Olivier Gervais. Switching to PRO P11, Gilles Lalonde. You could set your watch by... Oh, Frank Radosti is in trouble in AM. Here's the replay. We're back with Gilles Lalonde in P11. Here's the AM leader, Karl Struhl. 2 minutes remaining. Karl Struhal has found some pace in the last few laps. A spin for Gilles Lalonde in PRO. Let's take another look. Returning to Karl Struhal in P1 in AM. AM Frank Radosti in trouble. Impressive consistency from Frank Radosti. 1 minute left in the session. Let's check on Brian Hall, P5 in PRO. P5 Brian Hall, keeping it clean. Brian Hall sets a personal best through Sector 2. On board with Johnny Gutierrez. Johnny Gutierrez is in a real groove, metronome laps. Remarkably consistent from JT Tammy. That's qualifying done. Results coming up once all the times are in.
All right. Looks like our last car finish. Congratulations to Daniel on the pole, 14.5. Good job. JT second. Johnny Gutierrez is on his return, the top 3 starting position. Good job. And then AM, look at that, 17.008. I really wanted a 16. Didn't quite get it. And then second was Olivier, and third is James in the AM class. So good job, fellas. It's going to roll right into 10 minutes of warm-up. Get your race set up and put your fuel loaded up. We'll run this down, and it'll take us to the race.
Hey, Carl.
Yes?
I need to exit the server and re-enter. Is that okay?
You got 10 minutes. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem, should it?
Yeah, I just hope it didn't screw up the order or anything.
I want this round. Nope.
Okay.
The grid is set. Let's look at the qualifying. Now for PRO, Daniel Kirby in the number 201 Lamborghini STC takes pole with 1:14.635. JT Tammy and Johnny Gutierrez complete the top 3. AM Karl Struhel in the number 42 Lamborghini STC on pole with 117.008. Olivier Gervais in the number 82 Lamborghini STC second with 117.562. James Bowders in the number 92 Lamborghini STC third with 118.321. Warm-up session underway. 10 minutes to prepare. Gilles Lalonde cruising in P12.
Do you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, I hear you great.
Yeah, okay. My Windows microphone volume was at 70% for some reason.
The question is, can Carl hear you?
Yeah, I heard somebody. I heard Paul, and I think I heard whoever said something before that. It's someone else talking that I can't hear.
Now with PRO P9, Jerry Chen.
This is weird.
Jerry Chen holding P10. Now with the PRO leader, Gilles Lalonde. Tom Nazella tops AM with a 119.672. P1 Gilles Lalonde, keeping it clean. P2 for Frank Radosti in AM with a 121.000.
Has Johnny been talking? He's on the one people I haven't heard.
No.
Oh, okay, Johnny, I see you. Mike's not working. Okay.
Thank you, Carl.
Frank Radosti fastest in AM, 118.861. That's 0.81 quicker than Tom Nazella. Here's the view from Frank Radosti's cop. 5 minutes to go. P2 for Frank Radosti, a quiet run so far. Fastest in PRO, Paul Ibbotson, 1:17.159. That's 1.46 quicker than Gilles Lalonde. Paul Ibbotson maintaining P1. Carl Struhol tops AM with a 1:18.565. That's 0.29 quicker than Frank Radosti. Switching to AM leader Carl Struhol. P2 for Max Sunderlap in PRO with a 1:18.575. Carl Struhol cruising in P2. Daniel Kirby into P2 in PRO, 1:18.169. That's 1.01 behind Paul Ibbotson. P3 for Carl Struhol, a quiet run so far. Max Sunderlap into P2 in PRO, 1:17.902. That's 0.74 behind Paul Ibbotson. 2 minutes remaining. Now on board with Paul Ibbotson, driving the number 165 Lamborghini STC. Daniel Kirby fastest in PRO, 1:15.933.
What is that in the pits?
It's John Ryer's car just flew out.
That
Paul
was
Ibbotson
weird.
holding P2. One minute left in the session.
Wow.
He wanted a car to put on his wall.
Like I saw Max Sunderlap like on its roof over another car.
That happened in the pits, didn't it? What?
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Carl?
All right, the last few seconds.
Guess he doesn't hear
Switching
me.
to AMP5, James warm up.
Yeah, a couple
Time
people
for
are
the
having
teams to
issues
get
with
ready.
headsets tonight. It is what it is.
He must have accidentally muted you at some point in time.
I guess.
I don't know, because Johnny's having an issue too.
Well, John says he has some issues with his headset as well.
Yeah, both John and Johnny.
Well, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Even Carl heard you that time.
Yep.
Daniel Kirby maintaining P1.
All right, good luck, everybody.
And we're underway. John Maher alongside Max Somethinglap. Battle for P8 in AM. John now on board with Carl Struhol, driving the number 42 Lamborghini STC. Olivier Gervais under pressure from James Boders in the AM fight for P12. Tom Nazella is reeling in James Boders. James Bowders running 1.5 seconds behind the car ahead. From Carl Struhol's cockpit we can see Max Somethinglap and John Maher going at it. Norm Graf heading into pit lane.
Sorry about that, Tom.
Oh, here's Jerry Chen's pass on Norm Graf in PRO. Back to the fight for P3 in PRO between Alan Holden and Johnny Gutierrez. JT Tammy's pulling away, gap up by 0.5 seconds. After about a minute, neither driver is backing down. JT Tammy currently P2 in PRO. That's JT Tammy's best Sector 1 of the session. JT Tammy cruising in P2. Pit stop for Norm Graf, currently P16. You could set your watch by Johnny Gutierrez's lap times. Johnny Gutierrez maintaining P4. .5 seconds the margin for Johnny Gutierrez in P4. Let's watch Frank Radosti going for the... Frank Radosti. Back to Frank Radosti, running P4 in AM. Oh, trouble for Karl Struhel, on board with Karl Struhel in the AM. Here comes Olivier Gervais on Karl Struhel. Gilles Alum going for it on Karl Struhel. Karl Struhel is struggling to maintain the pace. James Bowders has cut the gap by 3.4 seconds. Alan Holden is in a real groove metronome laps. Something has gone wrong for Tom Nazella in AM. Let's take a look. We're back with Tom Nacella in P5 in AM. Oh, Carl Struhl had a significant
James, I am
problem on
sorry.
lap 4. Here's what we missed. We rejoin the AM battle for the attack continues on John Maher. The lap times are starting to drop off for Frank Radosti. Meanwhile, Gilles Lalonde pitting from P12. Frank Radosti is reeling in James Bowders. The gap is stretching out for John Maher. P8 John Maher keeping it clean. Johnny Gutierrez trying to hold. Johnny Gutierrez's pace is fading. Gilles Lalonde rejoins from the pits, 11 and 18 seconds stationary. Losing a bit of pace now, Johnny Gutierrez. Paul Ibbotson is struggling to maintain the pace. Gap now 1.9 seconds for Max Something-Lap. Battle for P12 in AM. Tom Nazella's pace is... Oh, a spin for Paul Ibbotson in PRO. Let's take another look. Returning to the battle for P10 in Oh, let's look back at when Tom Nazella came to a halt on lap 5. Returning to Paul Ibbotson in P9. Oh, look at this PRO battle. JT Tammy versus Alan Holden. Oh, issues for Karl Struhol in the AM class. Paul Ibbotson going for it on Karl Struhol. Halfway point, 19 minutes remaining. Karl Struhol has completed 10 laps now. James Bowders trying to hold off Frank Radosti for P12 in AM. Losing a bit of pace now, James Bowders. Johnny Gutierrez under pressure from switching to Olivier Gervais's onboard camera. .0 seconds, that's all there is in it. Tom Nazella has ducked into the pits from P15. Battle for P5 in PRO. John Maher is chipping away at Max Somthenlap's lead, 0.8 seconds. Oh, let's look back at something we missed earlier.
Watch turn 8.
Back to the fight for P5 in PRO between Max Somthenlap and John Maher.
Clear.
Max Somthenlap now 12 laps done.
Turn it.
Paul Ibbotson looking to get by
Clear turn
Olivier
8.
Gervais. Paul Ibbotson clears the slower car. Olivier Gervais is reeling in Paul Ibbotson. A mere 1.8 seconds covering this intense... Oh, while we were elsewhere, James Bowders stopped on track on lap 5. Back to Paul Ibbotson, running P9. Oh, wheel to wheel in AM. Karl Struhol challenging Olivier Gervais for P10. Karl Struhol is struggling to maintain the pace. On board with Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby's pace is fading. Let's see Johnny Gutierrez's move on max something lap in PRO. We're back with Daniel Kirby in P1 in PRO. Oh, Johnny Gutierrez had a significant problem on lap 10. Here's what we missed. Returning to Daniel Kirby in P1 in PRO. Max something lap has problems in P. The lap times are starting to drop off for Max something lap. Switching to PRO leader Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby is struggling to maintain the pace. Let's look back at when Paul Ibbotson came to a halt on lap 10. Back to Daniel Kirby, running P1 in PRO. Lap 16 for Daniel Kirby, settling into the rhythm. While we were elsewhere, Max something lap stopped on track on lap 14. We're back with Daniel Kirby in P1. The gap is only 0.4 seconds, so close. 4 cars going at it. Daniel Kirby. 10 minutes left in the session. Losing a bit of pace now, Daniel Kirby. While the action has quieted down, let's revisit an earlier moment. Returning to Daniel Kirby in P1 in PRO. The lap times are starting to drop off for Daniel Kirby. Olivier Gervais has slowed dramatically in AM. Here's the replay. Back to Daniel Kirby, running P. John Mayer is reeling in Brian Hall. This battle has been raging for about 30 seconds now. Olivier Gervais had a significant problem on lap 18. Here's what we missed. We rejoin the PRO battle for P4 Brian Hall and John Maher. Action in PRO, Jerry Chen versus Johnny Gutierrez for P6. Johnny Gutierrez cruising in P7. Karl Struhal trying to hold off Olivier Gervais for P9 in AM. Quicker laps now from Olivier Gervais. Karl Struhal alongside Olivier Gervais. 5 minutes remain. Oh, another look at Karl Struhal overtaking Olivier Gervais in AM. Returning to the battle for P9. Oh, great PRO racing. John Maher defending P5 from Jerry Chen. Jerry Chen is getting into a rhythm now. P6 Jerry Chen, 0.8 back from the next car. Jerry Chen running 0.8 seconds. Karl Struhol's pace is fading. Let's look back at when John Maher came to a halt on 2 minutes to go. Back to the fight for P9 in AM between Karl Struhl and Olivier Gervais. Just 0.8 seconds separating these two. 1 minute left in the session. Karl Struhl is struggling to maintain the pace. Switching to PRO P5, John Maher. Losing a bit of pace now, John Maher. Tight racing here. Daniel Kirby, Karl Struhl and Olivier Gervais battling it out. The leader, Daniel Kirby, has built a gap. Tom Nazella takes the flag in P5. Daniel Kirby wins the PRO, now with PRO P2 JT Tummy. Here's Alan Holden in P3 in PRO. On board with James Boders in the AM. Here's the view from Karl Struhol's cockpit in the number 42 Lamborghini STC. Frank Radosti finishes in P4 as we watch this battle unfold. Meanwhile, John Maher crosses the line in P4. Here's that PRO pass by John Maher on Brian Hall. We're back with Karl Struhl in P1 in AM. The AM winner is Karl Struhl, now on board with Olivier Gervais driving the number 82 Lamborghini STC. Runner-up in PRO, JT
Well done,
Tammy.
everybody, to making it
On
to
board
the
with Alan
end.
Holden.
Hold on.
Olivier Gervais finishes P2 in AM.
Oliver, did you finish?
Third in PRO
Yeah.
is
Okay.
Alan Holden. On board with James Bowders in the
I did a
P3
cool down.
in
I'm gonna
AM,
hit,
James Bowders.
Restart the warm up. Wait a second. Yeah, wait. That way I can go fix the grid. Y'all got 10 minutes, and hopefully I can get the grid sorted in less than 10 minutes. So if you need to use the restroom or whatever, anybody, and then I'll let you know when I get this grid straightened out.
Yeah. That was fun, Johnny and John.
Tom, you still with us?
I think Matt forgot we're doing safety cars, so he added like an extra 5 minutes.
Extra 3 minutes. It's a 33-minute race. I was, kind of got caught out by that a bit.
I ran out right before the line.
Tom is gone. He's not in Discord
okay.
anymore.
Man, he was doing so good until he missed that apex.
Well, there was a couple nice fight this race. Carl, man, I was trying to get you.
Hey, James, are you in voice?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, I'm sorry about that turn. What was it? Turn 9. I completely missed my marker for a break, and I tried to
realized
drive under you and hit the wall and miss you, but I didn't.
Yeah, I realized it. You know, it was you were trying to react to missing your marker. It happens.
Well, I just hope it didn't screw up your race. Too bad.
Broke my car a little bit. It slowed me down, but I was able to get back up there. And I was chasing Tom, and he was doing so well. I think the pressure just got him there. And at that same corner, he just missed the apex and put his nose right into the tire wall.
Yeah, I was right behind you when that happened. Other than that, it was some fun racing up to that point.
Yeah, the overcast is just making it really hard for me to see my marks.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I got too close up on your rear bumper, and I didn't see. I always look for that little patch that's in the roadway, and I completely missed it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Damn!"
John Mayer, are you there?
I think his mic doesn't work.
Oh.
Never use
Since we got around there so fast, we had to run a couple extra laps than we normally have to. And I ran out of fuel about 2 laps before the end of the race, and I was running on lean. And everybody was catching my ass. And I ran out coming out of that last turn. I just rolled across the start. John Mayer just passed me, boom, right at the start-finish line. Damn it. These 3-minute freaking pace laps, so we were taking only a minute and a half to do.
Well, yeah, he added 3 minutes, but under safety car, it doesn't move the timer.
Yeah, the server was set up beforehand, and I don't want to change it. We might lose our rubber anyway. Yeah, sorry guys. That I realized that after we got going, and I surprised nobody said something earlier. But when the server was already set up, so we're racing an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's fine. Just go full tank. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now I know. I didn't realize till I was in the race. I looked up. I saw the times there. Damn it!
I'm getting into a groove. Everything's going right, and there's 30 minutes remaining. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, damn it. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of became aware of it about the same point. I was like, oh shit, that's 3 minutes longer than it should be.
Well, let's just blame Matt.
Yeah, well, he set up the server.
Why do you think he's not here?
I don't make mistakes, right, guys? I'm the guest admin. All right, yeah, I do have the grid's loaded. We'll let this warm up run out in case anybody needs to use the restroom or get some laps in or try to remember their pace, because I kind of forgot, it seemed like. But then we'll get going for race 2.
I got to remember what an undamaged car drives like.
I got to remember where the hell how I was going faster earlier, because I was going slower and slower, especially towards the end.
Them tires give up.
It's okay. It could be worse. Could have hit the wall with the rear and lost all toe.
Gilles Lalonde maintaining P15. Let's check on Jerry Chen, P6 in PRO. P6 for Jerry Chen, a quiet run so far. Let's see it from JT Tammy's perspective in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. P2 JT Tammy keeping it clean. Brian Hall fastest in PRO, 1:18.057. Switching to Brian Hall's onboard camera. The lap times are starting to drop off for Brian Hall. Paul Ibbotson tops PRO with a 1:17.001. That's 1.06 quicker than Brian Hall. JT Tammy cruising in P5. P2 for JT Tammy and PRO with a 1:16.927. That's 0.20 behind Paul Ibbotson. JT Tammy running in P2.
All right, 10 seconds and it rolls us into the race, everybody.
Jerry Chen currently P4 in P. Here's the view from Alan Holden's cockpit in the number 25. Warm-up is over. The teams will now make their final preparations.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
P1 max something lap,
5
keeping it
seconds,
clean.
everybody.
Oh, are you kidding me? Sorry.
All right, good luck, everybody. Have fun.
And we're underway. The gap is coming down for Jerry Chen. Brian Hall making a move on Jerry Chen. Jerry Chen going for it on Brian Hall. Pass complete. Jerry Chen is P5 in PRO. Jerry Chen challenging Karl Struhl for position. Jerry Chen gets by Karl Struhl. JT Tammy challenging Karl Struhl for position. Traffic cleared for JT Tammy. JT Tammy is pulling away, gap up by 0.9 seconds. Here's Gilles Lalonde making a move on James Bowders. Gilles Lalonde clears the slower car. Gilles Lalonde holding P13. John Maher's advantage is shrinking. Gilles Lalonde has closed by 0. Now on board with Olivier Gervais driving the number 82 Lamborghini STC. Alan Holden closing the gap to Olivier Gervais. Olivier Gervais out front with a comfortable gap. Alan Holden making a move on Olivier Gervais. Alan Holden works through traffic. Alan Holden into P3 in PRO, 118.920. That's 2.66 behind Johnny Gutierrez. Olivier Gervais is losing touch with Alan Holden. P8 Alan Holden, 1.2 seconds to the cut. Now with PRO P5, Jerry Chen. Daniel Kirby looking to get by Olivier Gervais. Traffic cleared for Daniel Kirby. Gap now 1.4 seconds for Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby has been quicker, pulling away. Daniel Kirby maintaining P9. Daniel Kirby into P3 in PRO, 118.201. Here's JT Tammy's pass on Brian Hall in PRO. We rejoin the PRO battle for P. Trouble for Brian Hall in PRO.
Turn 8.
Gap down to 0.2 seconds for Alan Holden. Oh, issues for Gil Lalonde in the PRO. Gil Lalonde going for it on Alan Holden. Olivier Gervais in trouble. Olivier Gervais clears the slower car. Trouble. Oh, Alan Holden is in trouble in PRO. Here's the replay. Returning to Alan Holden in P11 in PRO. P15 Alan Holden, keeping it clean. The times are coming down for Norm Gruff. JT Tammy challenging Jerry Chen for position, and JT returning to the battle for P5 in PRO. JT Tammy versus Jerry Chen. JT Tammy challenging Norm Gruff for position. JT Tammy takes P4 in PRO. Still just 1.5 seconds between them. The gap is coming down for JT Tammy. JT Tammy extending the lead. Battle for P3 in PRO, Max Sunderlap and JT Tammy. JT Tammy with 0.5 seconds of clear ahead. P3 for JT Tammy in PRO with a 1:16.988. Here comes JT Tammy. Oh, another look at JT Tammy overtaking Max Sunderlap in PRO. Back to the fight for P3 in PRO between JT Tammy and Max Sunderlap. Look at this PRO battle. Norm Graf has found some pace in the last few laps. Here's Alan Holden making a move on Olivier Gervais. Alan Holden works through traffic. While we were elsewhere, Daniel Kirby stopped on track on lap 3. Back to Alan Holden, running P11. Daniel Kirby in P7, a gap of 1.1 to close. A solid 8 laps so far from Max Something-Lap. Let's watch Daniel Kirby going for the pass on Jerry Chen. We rejoin the PRO battle for P5, Norm Graf and Daniel Kirby. Pit stop for Olivier Gervais, currently P15. Daniel Kirby holding P6. Norm Graf challenging Max.
Turn 8.
Returning to the battle for P5 in PRO Jerry Chen versus John Maher. Gilles London had a significant problem on lap 3. Here's what we missed. We're back with Norm Graf in P4. Oh, issues for Jerry Chen in the PRO class. James Bowders is pulling away, gap up by 8.0 seconds. Carl Struhl up to P9 with Jerry Chen back in the garage. P10 for James Bowders as Jerry Chen retires to the garage. Frank Radosti up to P11 with Jerry Chen back in the garage. P12 for Alan Holden as Jerry Chen retires to the garage. James Bowders is under relentless pressure here. We're at the halfway mark. 19 minutes left. Quicker laps now from Frank Radosti. Alan Holden closing in 0.6 seconds in the last 10 laps. Daniel Kirby heading into pit lane. Battle for P9 in AM. Carl Struhl and James Bowders. James Bowders going for it on Carl Struhl. And James Bowders... Oh, something has gone wrong for Carl Struhl in AM. Let's take a look. Back to the fight for P9 in AM between James Bowders and Frank Radosti. James Bowders has completed 12 laps now. Let's look back at when Daniel Kirby came to a halt on lap 9. We rejoin the AM battle for P9. Oh, battle for P2 and PRO, Paul Ibbotson and JT Tummy. Impressive consistency from JT Tummy. And Olivier Gervais on board with Olivier Gervais in the AM. Olivier Gervais has slowed dramatically in AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Olivier Gervais. Oh, Paul Ibbotson under pressure from JT Tummy in the PRO fight for P2. The gap is only 0.8 seconds, so close. Olivier Gervais has... Oh, while we were elsewhere, Max Sunderlap stopped on track on lap 9. Returning to the battle for P2 in PRO, Paul Ibbotson versus JT Tammy. Wheel to wheel in AM, Alan Alan Holden is in trouble in PRO. Here's the replay. Back to the fight for P8 in AM between James Bowders and Frank Radosti. Frank Radosti ticking off the laps on lap 15. Oh, Karl Struhel had a significant problem on lap 11. Here's what we missed. Back to Gilles Lalonde, running P7 in PRO. Battle for P2 in PRO. Paul Ibbotson cruising in P2. Something has gone wrong for Max Sunderlap in PRO. Let's take a look. Ten minutes remaining. We're back with Max Sunderlap in P9 in PRO. Let's look back at when Olivier Gervais came to a halt on lap 12. Returning to Max Sunderlap in P... Oh, great PRO racing. Paul Ibbotson defending P2 from JT Tammy. Remarkably consistent from JT Tammy. JT Tammy now 18 laps done. P3 JT Tammy keeping... Oh, while we were elsewhere, Alan Holden stopped on track on lap 15. We rejoin the PRO battle for P2. Oh, James Bowders challenging. James Bowders gets by Alan Holden. Pit stop for Olivier Gervais, currently P14. Action in PRO. Paul Ibbotson versus JT Tammy for P2. JT Tammy holding P2. JT Tammy looking to get by Paul.
Turn 1.
Back to JT Tammy, running P3. Oh, Gilles Lalonde has a significant problem on lap 16. Here's what we miss. We're back with JT Tammy in P3. Oh, Norm Graff trying to hold up. Norm Graff is getting into a rhythm now. Let's check on AM leader James Bowders. Five minutes to go. Let's look back at when Max Sunderlap came to a halt on lap 16. Returning to the battle for P8. Oh, Norm Graff under pressure from John Maher in the PRO fight for P4. Solid 22 laps so far from John Maher. Oh, let's watch Alan Holden going for... Traffic cleared for Alan Holden. John Mayer is all over Norm Graf for P4 and PRO. Olivier Gervais lost the rear in AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Olivier Gervais in P3. Oh, while we were elsewhere, Gil Lalonde stopped on track on lap 16. Back to Olivier Gervais running P. Oh, look at this PRO battle. Norm Graf versus John Maher for P4. Two minutes left in the session. P5 for John Maher. A quiet run so far. One minute remaining. P5 John Maher, 0.5 seconds for the car in front. John Maher running 0.5 seconds behind the car ahead. The times are coming down for Norm Graf. Here's something interesting we missed. We're back with Norm Graf in P4 and P4 in PRO. Norm Graf takes P4 in PRO. Hack Racing, Johnny Gutierrez, James Bowders and Frank Radosti all within touching distance. Johnny Gutierrez's pace is fading. Switching to AMP2. Checkered flag for Johnny Gutierrez in PRO. Paul Ibbotson currently P2 in PRO. Here's the view from JT Tammy's cockpit in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. Switching to Carl Struhl's onboard camera. P4 for Norm Graf at the checkered flag. Now on board with James Bowders, driving the number 92 Lamborghini. Oh, John Maher had a significant problem on lap 25. Here's what we missed. returning to James Bowders in P1 in AM. James Bowders wins the AM.
That's everybody.
Second in PRO goes to
All
Paul
right.
Ibbotson.
Well, we'd probably be a lot more to
Runner-up
talk
in AM,
about this
Frank
race than
Radosti.
the first, I guess.
On board with James Bowders.
Thanks for coming out and racing. Hope everybody
JT
had
Tammy
fun.
rounds out the PRO podium.
You all know the drill.
Third in AM is Carl Struhal.
Hey, Frank.
This one was painful.
Great race.
Good
you
run,
really
James.
kept me honest. Kept the pressure on the entire time.
Congrats, Johnny. Paul, JT.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah,
back.
good one, Johnny. Good job, Paul.
With the Moto
Mac,
one.
I'm so sorry, dude. That was horrible on my part there.
It was quite a dive, but we survived.
The pile up at corner 8 was thank you all. And Brian, if I could just not stop out breaking myself. Hey, I saved the furniture. 7th.
Jills, I was trying to wear on you there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was giving it everything I had, and I just missed, and that was it.
Yep, I was just sitting there running with you. I was like, well, he's got to make a mistake because I can't pass him any other way.
Well, that was the third and fourth races at Long Beach. So next Thursday, when Matt is back, will be the hypercars and the GT3, and I imagine that'll be even more exciting and entertaining.
Oh, sure will.
So thanks everybody for coming out. And if anybody that does race the MNRL, the virtual historic sports cars, the 1981 server, I'm going to be putting the Road Atlanta server, and the track will be available for download for Tuesday night's race at Road Atlanta, 100 miles at Road Atlanta.
That'll be a hoot.
Yeah, and that's this year, MNRL, we get to race some races that the virtual world sports car historics do not get to race. So
Yeah.
Road Atlanta is a historic track that we're getting to do. Brainerd and Pocono are two more that are further down the line that we race that they don't.
I assume that's Pocono Road Circuit.
Yes, indeed.
One of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but we'll all find out together in the long run. And then, of course, they race some tracks that we won't, like Spa and a few others. But that's the trade-off. But this year, we're doing the IMSA, they're doing WEC, and they do converge at times. So